The whole cliquey, you can't sit with us mentality at schools is it's just ridiculous. I'm gonna come out here and say it. It's ridiculous. It's time that bullying stops and we start to care about each other and be nice to each other. Hello everybody, happy Friday. My name is Nicole, welcome back to my channel. So glad that you're here. Today I thought I'd do something a little bit different. I normally don't do this kind of stuff on my channel, but I got so excited seeing everybody's back to school pictures on social media. It made me go back and think about how exciting the beginning of a new school year was. I remember as a kid being so excited coming out of such a fun summer, going to Target and going school shopping for all my school supplies and gearing up for a new school year. That first week of school was always so fun and so exciting. But then quickly after that, school can get very overwhelming, especially if you're in high school or college. The classes aren't as fun, they're a lot harder, and I know that that comes with a lot of stress and feeling overwhelmed. And so today I just wanted to give you guys a couple of tips or maybe tricks, things that you can do to make that transition back into the school year a little easier and a little more fun. So if you're in high school or college or middle school, wherever you're at, this video is for you. My first tip, and I stand by this with my whole heart, is to be organized. Every single year I got a new planner, and this was so fun because I always looked forward to the new planners I could get. There's so many cute ones out there, but I cannot tell you how much easier your life will be if you have a planner. Because for me, if I don't write things down, I forget. I write things everywhere. I write them in the notes in my phone, I put them in the calendar in my phone, in the calendar on my computer. I even have a handwritten planner, and I make sure that I have things written in multiple different places so that I don't forget. This is the planner I'm using right now. It's amazing. It's from a company called Dayspring. This is not sponsored. They did not pay me to say this. I am showing you this because I genuinely love it. I think the cover is so cute. They have all kinds of different covers, but on each month they have a different cute little like flower photo and a verse. So it's really cool. Every month has a new one, and then there is kind of like a mini devotional before the month starts, and then they've got the full month view, and then it breaks it down into day by day with little verses at the top of each page. I'm obsessed with this. It's great. I love that it's part devotional too, because my schedule can get so crazy and so busy, and so when I'm feeling overwhelmed, it's nice to have those verses there just as like a small reminder that God still loves me. I will put the link to this planner down in the description box below if you want to check it out. Another great company that I have used before that I really love is Erin Condren. I'm sure you have heard of them or seen them floating around. It was like the most fun thing in college. I would take all my favorite photos and make a collage because you can create your own cover. It's a similar type of planner to this where everything's really cute and colorful, and they have little stickers that you can add. So I think if you have a planner that you love and that is really fun, then you're more likely to use it and write things down. That's tip number one. Since we're on the topic of planning, my second tip is to lay your clothes out the night before. This might seem a little extra, but honestly, if you're not a morning person, when you wake up in the morning, just to take one less thing off of your mind and things you have to do, it's so nice to have your clothes laid out ready to go. When I was in middle school, I used to be like super extreme and lay out my clothes for the entire week. You don't really have to go that far, but it's just nice to wake up and have one less thing to think about and just put on your clothes knowing that you already know what you're gonna wear. I guess unless you go to a school that wears a uniform, and then you don't have to worry about that anyway. Another thing that you can do in advance is pre-make your lunch. I always used to make my lunch the night before. Actually, my sister would make my lunch the night before. She was so good at it. She'd always make me like half a bagel with cream cheese or peanut butter and jelly, and then she would make these fun snack mixes like Oreos and marshmallows or crackers and I don't know, something random, goldfish. But I used to love having my sister make my lunch because then I would go to school and open it up and it'd always be a surprise. So if you have siblings, that might be a fun thing to do with your sibling, is like you each make each other's lunches. But if not, I still highly recommend making your lunch the night before. That way in the morning, you're not scrambled and you have your bag ready to go. I am obsessed with lunch boxes. It's one of the many things I collect, but I think I have like 6 or 7 lunch boxes that I rotate between. I've got a Finding Nemo one, a One Direction one, an Elephant one, and that too makes planning and lunchtime more fun. If you'd like to get as much sleep as possible and not have to do as much in the morning, I would also pre-make your breakfast. There's so many things you can do the night before so that your breakfast is either already made or that you just have to put a couple simple things together to have a yummy breakfast. One of my favorite things to do in high school was to make overnight oats. This is so simple. The night before, all you gotta do is mix together some oats, almond milk, chia seeds, any kind of flavorings if you want, and then in the morning, you can top it with berries, add some nut butter, stir it all up, and you have a perfect breakfast ready to go. You can also do this in a Tupperware, so if you want to eat it in the car, you don't have to necessarily keep it in a jar or a bowl. Mason jars are a really great thing to put them in, but a Tupperware works just as well. If you like to get a little bit fancier with your breakfast, you can pre-cut some veggies if you want to make an omelet, or just even have the cereal in a bowl out ready to be poured. I have tons of really simple, easy breakfast recipes that can be made in advance, and I'm also gonna link those down in the description box below. Okay, don't think I'm crazy for this next one, but my next tip is to get some colorful pens or pencils. Back to school shopping was always my favorite thing, and I always made sure I would buy at least one set or like a couple different colorful pens to make taking notes and writing in my planner more fun. Colorful pens seriously make everything better. I don't know why, but it does. I used to write my friends letters with them. Also, it's scientifically proven that when you write things in colors and categorize it in different colors, it helps your brain to remember things. So remember that when you're taking notes. My next one is to make a morning playlist. Growing up, my sister and I shared a bathroom and our rooms were across from each other. And so when we would wake up in the morning, to help us wake up and get energized, we would always play music. Find some like really fun, upbeat stuff that's gonna get your body moving. Do some jumping jacks if you need to, but morning playlists will instantly put you in a good mood, and I highly recommend it. If you wanna take a peek and listen to what I listen to in the morning, I created a special Spotify playlist for my morning jams, and you can follow along and get some ideas or even add some of the songs to your playlist too. My next tip is to set up a homework space. When you come home from a long day of school, sitting down to do more hours of homework is probably not the first thing you want to do, but doing your homework is so important. And so one thing I recommend is to make it fun. Find a space that you can focus in, that's colorful, that's calm, whatever helps you to do your best work. Be in that area. Get a comfy blanket, maybe grab a pillow. I would always make a fun snack and bring it with me so that I had something to munch on while I was doing my homework. I feel like the more I created a fun environment and somewhere that I wanted to be, it took a lot of the stress and the burden off of homework. If you're in college, maybe go to a coffee shop or sit at a park, study with friends. Find ways to make it less burdensome and more enjoyable, something that you want to do. Now let's talk about back to school shopping. I remember this was always a big deal. I'm not a big shopper, and so my sister and I would usually only do like one shopping trip in the spring and one in the fall. And I remember for whatever reason, it was such a big deal to have a first day of school outfit. I just wanna like put your mind at ease and let you know that it doesn't need to be stressful. You don't have to break the bank when you're looking and shopping for new clothes for school. I know that it's super exciting, and I know you wanna walk through campus and have all the best things, but don't get caught up in the hype. There are so many ways that you can shop and save money. One of the places that I like to shop is Poshmark, because you can find a lot of people selling some high-end brand clothing for really inexpensive. I actually have a lot of my clothes up on Poshmark, so if you haven't already downloaded the app, you can download it and shop my closet and see if I have anything that you want. Also, this might be an unpopular opinion, but utilize hand-me-downs. Having an older sister was kind of a blessing and a curse in terms of clothing, because I felt like I just always had to wear her clothes, but honestly, we were the same size for a while, and it was great to almost feel like you had two closets. We would mix and match stuff all the time, and it was like the best. So maybe if you don't have a sister, you can like swap with a friend, or maybe have a fun day with some friends where you go thrifting. Whatever you do, moral of the story is you don't have to break the bank to look cool and have cool clothes. Another thing I feel like can cause a lot of stress when people are going back to school is having friends. If you're going to a new school, or maybe you're going to the same school and just don't really feel like you have a good group of friends, that's really stressful. I never had like a group of friends or a best friend that I was always with. I was always one of those people that kind of just like hopped between groups of people and never really felt like I had a place to belong. And truthfully, it's isolating. It's really lonely, and I remember having a lot of anxiety about that. One thing I think that can help with that is, I know this sounds hard because it's like, how do you have confidence if you feel like you don't have any friends? But have confidence just to go talk to somebody new. I can guarantee you, if you're feeling that way and if you feel alone, there is somebody else at your school that also feels alone. Some of the best times I remember in high school was when I felt so super lonely, like I had nobody to eat lunch with, but I would go into the cafeteria and I would sit down at a table where I saw somebody else sitting alone. And I cannot tell you how much that meant to them and how important it made them feel, but it also filled me up, because I'm like, wow, I just met somebody new. I made a new friend and actually connected connected with them. Because here's the thing, we actually have a lot more in common with each other than we don't. And so if you can get over that fear of like, oh, I don't want to look stupid, or I don't want to be seen with them, like just go be nice, like be a friend to people, because the whole cliquey, you can't sit with us mentality at schools is just, it's just ridiculous. I'm gonna come out here and say it. It's ridiculous. I was bullied in high school and middle school, and I was made to feel like I wasn't enough and that I wasn't cool enough. My clothes weren't cool enough. I would never be good enough to be with the popular crowd. And like, what does that even mean? And I just wish I knew what I knew now so I could go back and stand up for myself and not tolerate that, because it's not okay. And each of you have the power to be a light in someone else's life. Even just smiling at someone and saying hello. I mean, complimenting someone and telling them that you like their shirt is not going to kill you. It actually might be the best thing you've ever done, and you might meet your best friend for the rest of your life. I don't know, but I'm just saying it's time that bullying stops and we start to care about each other and be nice to each other. Okay, rant over. Whew. I need to make like a whole video on bullying because I feel like that would be a good thing for people. Oh, on that note, if you struggle to make friends or you're wanting to meet some new people, I highly recommend getting involved in an extracurricular activity. Maybe sports aren't your thing, but maybe you want to be part of the art club or the drama club or even the band. There are so many clubs and activities, I'm sure, at your school that you can be involved in. And so I just want to challenge you to like go for it. Try a sport, even if you've never played a sport before. People always thought I played basketball or did volleyball, and I never did. But I would have if I didn't dance 10.5 hours a week at a dance studio. Getting involved in an extracurricular activity is a great way to meet new friends and be involved in something that you might not ever knew you liked. My next tip is to always be on time. Being on time is so important, not just in school, but in life. School is the time to practice this, because when you get a job, when you go out into the real world, when you're starting in your career, if you are not on time, you could potentially be fired. And so start practicing being on time at school. If you are notoriously late, set your alarm clock 20 minutes before you know you need to leave or before you know you need to be somewhere, especially if you're driving, because you can never predict the traffic or what's gonna happen on the roads. And so it's always better to be early and takes a lot less stress off of you. My last tip is to make time to exercise. Now, this doesn't really have anything to do with school or homework or preparing or whatever, but I truly think there is a strong correlation to physical movement and your learning. And I think when you're cooped up in a classroom all day, if you are constantly sitting and you're studying, you're hunched over, it actually could help you to take a break, to like let some of that out and to relax and to like move your body. So even if it's going outside and going on a quick walk or a run, or if you can't go outside, like do some jumping jacks and do some squats in place. Like whatever you do, try to move your body at least 30 to 60 minutes a day. If you feel like you're just super burnt out of homework and you can't focus anymore, just take like a quick 5-minute break to stand up, stretch out, and like get some movement going, because I promise you when you sit back down, it will help you tremendously. It also helps to kind of like breathe out any stress or any kind of like anxiety or fear you're experiencing. So if you're feeling really overwhelmed, exercise and movement is like so good for all of that. That's all I can think of right now. Those are the things that I found really helped me when I was going through high school and college, when I had like a really heavy load and a lot going on. Those things just kind of took a little bit of stress off and made everything more fun. Because now that I'm out of school, I kind of miss it. I don't miss the homework and the tests, but I miss learning. I miss being in that creative, collaborative environment. And if I could go back, I wish I would have enjoyed myself more. So I hope those tips helped you. I hope they encouraged you, whether you're going into middle school, high school, college, wherever you're at in life. I hope that you never stop learning, and I hope this next season and this semester is the best one yet. Let me know down below which tip you found most helpful, or anything else that helps you study and helps you do well in school. Give this video a thumbs up, and of course, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. You're so awesome. I'm thinking about you and praying for you as you enter into your new school year. It's gonna be amazing. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next week.